We started? Hold on, mate. Sorry. Yeah, we're going. Right. Hi, this is Kieran for Getting Our Shit Together. And I'm delighted to be joined by George of Let's Go to Work, which is a new podcast, but already doing well and already got a sponsor and awesome. So, George, thank you so much for being and chatting with me here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. All right, mate. Well, listen, do you want to give us a little bit of a background of who you are and maybe why you started the podcast and what that's all about?
Yeah, so I wanted to start a podcast. I've been wanting to start a podcast for a while now. I actually started before COVID. It was like February of last year, a month before COVID started, just because everyone was doing it and I kind of wanted to get into the rhythm of it. My friends tell me I'm a very comedic person. I'm pretty funny.
I think so. In our interactions we've had before we started pressing record, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. I mean, it's just, I mean, I definitely like to keep the mood up, and keep it going, especially when people are down. And I just wanted to share that with everyone. Okay, sorry.
No, sorry. I was saying to George, like, try a little bit louder, just slightly louder. But yeah, you're good,
okay,
man.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. So, yeah, so I mean, I tried it back last year, and whenever I started looking up YouTube videos and Googling how to get started, but it was just a lot of, getting all these different types of equipment, getting started with all these different websites. And I tried it, but it never actually fulfilled. It ended up being too complicated and it was taking up too much time.
Yeah.
So I recorded like 3 episodes and I tried to publish them, but again, it was just too complicated. I couldn't ever get it to work.
Right.
So I kind of just gave up. And then COVID happened and I mean, nothing was going on here where I live. So I had nothing to talk about. But now that everything's just been starting to reopen again, even though it's not really, what I wish for in my country, because we never really had a lockdown. I'm just going with it. If everybody else says it's safe for everyone to just be out and about, coughing in each other's mouth, and that's fine with me.
No, I like it, man. Yeah, and we're a similar sort of story. Like, yeah, because of COVID, eventually, got the cojones to just go for it. But yeah, man. So your podcast is called Let's Go to Work, and obviously I was like, well, ours is called Ghost, which is Getting Our Shit Together. And so I was like, wow, right, it must be a like similar sort of brand. And then I was like, oh no, it's actually like. I think it's like about being productive as well, but it's literally your journey to work is when you make your podcast. Is that right? Or
literally, yeah. So that's where I was just in my car one day and I was thinking to myself, I'm here, I'm just driving alone. There's so much that I want to say. There's so much that I can say. Yeah. I was like, might as well just start recording from my phone. And I found the app Anchor and I just put on my headphones and I started talking and I ended up actually having a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. And now I've started to really just polish the podcast more and really focus on the content and what I'm going to be talking about, really thinking about it. Just because thinking to yourself in your car and just talking without a topic can be very challenging. But it's been a lot of fun, and sometimes you just need that one idea that's just gonna push you through what you need to do.
Yeah, 100%. And like, so I was looking at your podcast, and it's somewhat dating related in the choices that you're making in your life, your romantic life, and stuff like that. And so one of the things that stood out to me was you made a bit of a vow of celibacy, right? So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I wouldn't necessarily say a vow because it's not like
right.
I'm not going to have sex. It's more just calming down. I've had pretty toxic relationships.
Right.
Just in my short lifespan of being alive, and though that's one of the reasons why I started the podcast too, is because I've had a lot of negative experiences at work and relationship wise, and I feel like there's a lot of people, specifically young LGBTQ women and men, that might be going through these things and they don't really realize it because there's not a platform where someone can really just, talk about in a funny way, but also seriously.
Yeah.
And the reason why I actually became celibate, it was because I was actually dating this guy during COVID and he was really treating me really nicely. We were, I guess we were the relationship that you were supposed to have.
Mm.
And he left to pursue his career, which I had no problems with. But then shortly after, I started hooking up with this married man. And I
Uh-oh.
realized that, yeah, I know, right? I realized that the sex just, it was good, but it wasn't
Wait,
great. I
was
wasn't
he
like,
married to a man or a woman?
he was married to a woman.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he was upfront from the very beginning. I found him on Grinder.
Nice, yeah.
Obviously, I'm gonna keep him anonymous because I don't want to ruin his life.
Oh, sure, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, sure.
um, but yeah, so he was upfront from the very beginning, and I was okay with it just because I've had multiple experiences with straight married men
Yeah.
with or without children. And but I think this last time, now that I've experienced a healthy relationship, I he ended up having a kid. And when I found that out, I think I just kind of shut down and removed myself from that situation. I wasn't
Nice.
in the state of mind that I wanted to be at. Um, and a lot of times, whenever, I mean, not that you know, but as a gay guy, whenever you're, with someone that's discreet or cheating on their partner, it's a lot of you have to give more than you receive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And it ends up just being too tiring
Is
and
that
just
is that like
exhausting.
is that the scene term for it? Discreet? Like
Yeah,
that, right, right, right,
yeah,
right, right. Right,
the street guy.
right, right, right.
Not, we're
Meaning
all married.
he's cheating, basically.
He is, yeah. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I've done it before. So I was like, I don't care. Like, it's not my life. I'm just trying to get my O. But
Wait,
then
what's an
I
O?
saw
What's an O? Oh right, I got it,
orgasm.
yes. Sorry. Yeah, of course.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So I was just trying to come. Um, but then, I saw a kid, and currently I'm basically a father with my roommate. And I was like, oh my God,
Wait,
like,
what? What do you mean? What's the roommate situation?
she's just my best friend.
Okay.
And she has a kid,
But you have
but
to
I
raise it.
mean,
Oh,
yeah, I've been basically helping her raise her
oh,
kid.
wicked. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's basically my son. I'm the cool uncle.
You're the cool
Um,
uncle. Yeah.
and yeah, I'm in a totally different state of mind now than I
Yeah.
used to be before COVID. And it might have been because of COVID, just like having to social distance and really just, focus on
Sure.
yourself more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I guess I just wasn't taking it. I know what I'm worth,
Right.
and I know what I've gotten before. I've had a healthy relationship, and I think that's what I'm gonna settle for. I'm not
Yeah.
willing to settle for less.
Absolutely. And did you have any, like, personally in your life, did you have any like overlap? Were you always LGBTQ, or did you mess around with
Um,
girls at the start, or?
I always knew that I was, but I wasn't
Yeah.
always out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Sure.
I went through a long time of just, really hiding myself. My family was very, very religious when I was younger, so we would go to church all the time.
Catholic?
No,
No.
actually, Baptist.
Okay, yeah, cool.
So, which I feel like Catholics are a lot, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they're a lot more welcoming and opening
I don't know.
nowadays.
I guess you'd have to get the right one. I think. Yeah,
I
but
don't
yeah.
know, but Baptists are very like, you're gonna go to hell, like you need to stop.
Oh shit! Yeah, serious.
Yeah,
Oh, that's like the
so
Mike Pence electrotherapy, all of that sort of stuff.
pretty much, yeah. I actually
Right.
did end up going to therapy. Well, like a conversion thing with the
What?
church.
Pray the gay away, sort of thing.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I feel so bad talking about it because I am still religious because I grew up in this background. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was lying through my fucking teeth because my parents actually found gay porn on my computer
Right.
because I didn't know what the hell private browsing was.
Yeah, yeah.
So they were just going through my computer and they found gay porn, and I was like, oh my God, that's not mine. Like somebody must have hacked into my computer.
Yeah.
And then the week after, like every Wednesday, I had to go meet with the pastor, and like it would
Oh
just
shit.
talk.
I was thinking like the nuclear button would be like, that's not mine, that's dad's. And like just looking at your
Literally, right?
eyes.
Yeah, I know. The bad thing here is that my dad is like super bad at technology, so like would have never believed that.
Right, of course. No, of course. No, no. But so, all right, so they found the porn, they sent you to this camp, or?
No, I mean, it was still at the church. We would
Right,
just
right, right.
arrive like 2 hours because my parents, we would go to church every Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Wednesday afternoons. So we were there like 3 times out of the week. But we would have to get there like 2 hours earlier. And I would just have like a 2-3 hour session with the pastor, and we would just talk about my sexual relations and
Two
like
or
how
three
I
hours.
feel.
That's grueling.
I know it was honestly so bad. After about like 3 months, I think I ended up just like breaking down in front of him, and I was just like, oh my god, like I think I finally understand, like everything that I'm doing is wrong, and I'm gonna go to hell. So I just
Oh
want to
no.
repent. Yeah, it was super traumatic. And then coming out to my parents a couple years after that, because I've been shoved back into the closet, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I was like in middle school. I was like 12 when that happened. And
Wow.
then when I was 17, I think I finally just like grew up and I was like, no, this is who I am. You either like
Yeah.
it or you don't. If you don't like it, then I guess I'm just gonna have to move out. And but now I'm out. Everyone's been super supportive. I live in the South, so that was a big fear of mine that I was gonna get
Wow. Yeah.
lynched.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, everybody that I've
Jesus.
met so far, I mean, I don't go around telling people that I'm gay,
No.
but I'm pretty flamboyant and my voice is pretty high pitched that people just know without me having to tell them. But I've had experiences where someone's just like, I would have never known that you were gay. And I'm just like, thank you. Looks like I'm actually pretty masculine.
No, yeah, fair. And like, what's the because it's interesting, right? Because it's like so. Cause in my mind, right, it's like a biological reality. It's like you expressing yourself authentically is seeing dudes. That's what it seems to be, right? It doesn't seem like a cultural thing, especially with your background. Like, like
Yeah, no. I mean, I remember people always ask me like, when did I know that I was gay?
yeah,
And I there was never a specific point where I just woke up and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely like guys. I mean, I remember myself even like when I was a kid, just checking guys out more and being
yeah,
more like having just more questions about them.
yeah,
Whereas I think, my straight counterparts, those are the same things that they have about girls, the
of
whole like
course, yeah, yeah, yeah,
pulling
yeah.
their pigtails and, asking them questions and stuff like that. That was
Right.
always me with guys, but I could never actually do that just because of the environment that I was in. So it took me a
Sure,
long
no,
time.
of course, of course. And dude, I mean, we can move away from it. This is obviously your personal life, so we can talk more about your thing. But it's just interesting, I think, because you would identify as gay rather than bi, right? Is that fair or not?
I don't, I mean, for a long time I did used to, but I don't like to label myself anymore
Sure.
just because I'm still fairly young.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And considering that my dad right now is like 70 something, I have a long life left to live and a lot
Sure.
more experiences left to experience. So I don't know. I mean, for right now, yes, I am gay, but I don't know. Threesomes with couples always look fun. So who knows?
I guess I reckon I can get my head into it. It's like actually no, maybe I don't want to go there, but it's just like with like say like a girl's lady parts. I can imagine the mindset of just being like, ugh. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like,
I mean,
ugh.
it's not,
Like,
yeah,
I
I
can
mean,
imagine thinking that because of like, the way, whatever, without getting too graphic.
I mean, obviously I've seen straight porn. I know
Yeah.
what a vagina looks like.
Oh,
I
but
personally,
you've not been there yourself.
I've never been there myself.
Uh-huh.
I am what they call gold star gay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I have made out with plenty of my girlfriends before, but I've never gone to third base or home or whatever the hell they
Right,
call it.
right, right.
Um,
Never
but
dined out at the
yeah,
sushi bar.
exactly. But I have dreamt about it actually,
All right. Okay.
and it was still a pretty traumatic experience.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. Before we started recording, you were saying about dick pics, and I just thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if there's if there's anything you wanted to say about that. Like, is obviously maybe you don't have a comparison, but would you say that's quite prevalent in the gay community? Is that a lot? Do you seem to get that more than your girlfriends or?
It depends. Now that I've completely removed myself from dating apps, and now that I don't get them as often. But definitely, I would say there's more bottoms out here than there are tops, so you get more ass pics. But
Right.
still, if anyone's trying to hook up, like especially if you're on Grinder, then your first message is hey, and then the following message is a dick pic or an ass pic.
Right.
Um, But I mean, it gets to the point where it's just like, okay, like what else is what else do you have to provide me other than another penis? Because I've already seen 100 today.
Right. Do you, dude? I mean, so certainly, I reckon like straight guys could relate to this with like the sometimes like the what's it called, the hoops that you need to jump through to, when you're first getting with a girl and that sort of thing. Like, do you see your girlfriends going through that drama and just think, thank fuck I'm gay? Like, and I deal with men, and it's like to the point, or not
I
really.
mean, I mean, it really depends like what your end goal is, and when you're starting to talk to that person, if your
Yeah,
end goal is to like just hook up, I feel like yes, it is a lot easier for gay guys to just find a random hookup. But if
yeah,
you're trying to look for a relationship, that's going to be a lot harder if you're gay than if you're straight. Just because, I mean, I don't know how it is nowadays, but when I was in school, I was the only gay guy that was out.
sure, yeah, sure,
And you know, everybody was getting into relationships, and so they were getting all this experience that I never
yeah,
got
yeah.
until, you know, not too long ago. But what I did have experience is as soon as I turned 18, you know, everybody was trying to hook up with me because I was fresh meat. I was the newest
Right,
guy on the
wow.
grinder. And yeah, the first I don't even want to talk about my first time having
We don't have
sex. It
to.
was an
Yeah, we don't have to. Yeah.
awful experience. Eventually I will on my podcast, so just check it
I'll
out
listen out for it.
whenever
Yeah, I'll
it
listen out.
drops. But yeah, there's a lot of I would say with younger gays, a lot of the older gays, and not much older, like 20s, 25s,
Right.
they tend to like to coerce younger guys,
Mm-hmm.
especially they're like a virgin, because that's basically what happened to me. I didn't want to lose my virginity the way that I did, but I was essentially coerced into it, or
Oh,
um,
peace. Yeah.
convinced into it, even though I didn't want to.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah, it's just a really, really toxic environment,
Right.
that I just want to make a little bit better.
I completely. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool goal. What do you? How would you like to see the scene improved if you had the power to do that?
There's so many ways. Um, I would say the first is, and you talk about it a lot on your YouTube videos, and that's just masculinity
Okay.
in the gay community. I feel like a lot of guys, whether you're gay or straight, it's just a constant struggle with, you know,
Right.
being masculine enough, just because society has made up this idea of what a guy needs to be like.
Sure.
And obviously a lot of gay guys are not going to fit those criterias that you're required. You know, you have to have muscles, you have to have a deep voice, enough
Yeah.
hair, stuff like that. And there is this really negative stigma in the community where if you're not masculine enough, you're not wanted. And there's
I
actually,
really.
you'll find a lot of guys on dating apps that are like mask for mask. So like
Right.
they're masculine guys looking for other masculine guys,
Yeah.
which is fine if you're into that, but you know, they sometimes end up going out of their way to belittle other guys that are not like that. And
Oh,
it's
okay, okay. But isn't there? I thought that there was a. I'm blanking the word, but kind of guys who look maybe a little bit more boyish. I thought there was a big
yes,
demand for that as well, right?
twinks,
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry. Yeah. Twinks. Yeah.
I don't know if I still fit in that
Yeah.
category, but I know I used to. I
Right.
think I'm a twunk now. I think I have a lot more muscles nowadays.
You're at what now?
Um, I think I'm a twunk now. It's
Oh, so twink and hunk.
basically,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Just because I have a little bit more muscle.
Right. Nice.
Um,
Yeah.
but yes, if you're a twink, you're definitely wanted a lot more. And I mean, at the end of the day, again, if you're just looking to hook up with someone, most of the times people are not gonna care so long as you look hot. You have a pretty face to look at.
Yeah.
Um, but there is still, I mean, still, it's just that masculine specific part
Sure.
that I think a lot
It's
of
tricky.
guys are having a rough time. Mainly, it is older gay guys, just because they, you know, recently came out of the closet. I mean, it wasn't until like what 2012 that it became like legal for gay guys to get married or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Crazy late. Yeah.
so I think it's just a process that we all have to go through as a community to become more accepting of each other.
Fair. Fair. Yeah, that sounds, and obviously you're the authority. That sounds cool to me as well. I mean, I would just sort of think like, yeah, but then there is like like an attraction reality. Like people want what they want, right? I guess.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely, I wouldn't say that I have a specific type just because I've dated short guys, I've dated tall guys,
Mm.
muscular, skinny. They all, for the most part, have been white though.
Right.
So that is primarily what I go towards. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, you like what you like, but maybe there's somebody out there that likes you and could treat you really, really well, but because you have this criteria that people have to fit, you might never find the person that's gonna really make you feel loved because they don't fit that, you know. So I'm trying to date outside of the white race I like.
No,
And
fair. No,
to an Asian
sure,
guy.
sure. Sure. No, yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, just while you're speaking, it sort of it makes me think that like maybe the gay community and women kind of have like a similar issue, which is like they've got loads of abundance when it comes to options to hook up with, but then maybe options to have a relationship with that they'd really be enthused about might be a little bit smaller, lower, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend, she has a specific type of guy that she always used to go for,
Yeah.
and she always used to date. And I mean, hooking up, she would hook up with like different types of guys, but if she was gonna date them and take them seriously, they had to look a specific type of way. And
Yeah.
then she started hanging out with this, new group of friends, and she found this guy that treats her really well, and he looks nothing like anyone that she's ever dated in the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, it's opening up yourself to a new experience. And I mean, yeah, you might like what you like, but you can train yourself out of that mentality. You can open up yourself to new experiences if you
Sure.
really want to change.
Sure. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, in some ways, I think like maybe gay dudes are like allowed through the curtain with women, like maybe in a way that straight guys aren't, right? So it's like maybe if you're with a bunch of ladies, they're gonna let the guard down a little bit more than they might with a straight dude there, right? Is there
Oh,
anything?
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, as soon as
Is
I
there any
tell
like
someone this
little bits
way,
of gold that you could bring back? Like anything you could tell us, like from that behind the curtain?
I mean, it depends what situation you're on. If you're trying to hit up on a girl, yeah, if you're trying to hit on a girl at the club, I can tell you coming up behind them and grabbing them by their waist is not the way to go. You're gonna
Oh,
creep them
definitely not.
out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you see a girl at the club that you wanna, now that everything's starting to reopen back up, if
Yeah.
you wanna, you know, really get close to them and get to know them, I would say befriend her friends first.
Okay. All right. Interesting approach. Interesting
Yeah,
approach.
because I mean, instead of just coming to that one person that might reject you, you're coming in, just for the whole group. Because most girls will go out in groups, and if you're just coming to the whole group and you're being friendly to everyone, and
Yes.
you can just be like, hey, like maybe the girl that likes you is not gonna be the one that's talking to you, or it's not
Yeah.
gonna be the one you're directly gonna be talking to, but you can slowly work yourself up, especially if you have a couple drinks,
That's
and then
good. Yeah. No,
down.
that's yeah. I think I've said something pretty much exactly along those lines. That's yeah. 100%, man. Yeah. Befriend the group, as we say.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, people are drunk, especially girls, and
Mm,
it's not a safe world out here. So a lot of times when
sure.
you come in too intense and too aggressive, it can definitely be off-putting, especially, I mean, even if you're attractive, nobody
Sure. Of
wants that.
course. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. And all right. So you were sort of touching on it there. I was going to ask you another question. Like, from your vantage point, is there anything that you would say to maybe like a less confident straight dude, like any little tips that you would say about hitting on the ladies?
A less confident guy,
Yeah.
if you're not confident hitting up or hitting on someone, I guess my first question would be like, why are you not confident? Like, really, like, what do you think is gonna turn them away from you?
Yeah.
If you have a small penis, well, there's nothing I can do about that. But I feel like that's a lot of the things, they're just internal. It's nothing external. It's like you just have to look at yourself, see what your values are,
Yeah.
and then you just gotta start encouraging yourself. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have a list of things that I, whenever I'm gonna hit on someone, I just go over. I'm just like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. I'm hot. I have curly hair. Or I'm not bald. You
Wait,
can
you
do
tell them
it.
this? You say this?
No, I tell this to myself.
Oh, of
I tell
course.
this
Yeah,
to
yeah, like
myself to
affirmation.
hype
Yeah, right,
myself
right,
up,
right. Yeah, yeah.
and then I get a little bit courage, and then I just, you just gotta go for it.
I
You
like
can't
that,
live
man.
your life in fear.
100%. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, like a little like reminder, little talk with yourself. Like, no, you know what? I'm the fucking shit here. So let's go make
Yeah,
something happen.
because I mean, when you're hitting up on someone, especially if it's in person,
Yeah.
your insecurities are gonna come out, and you're gonna get in your head about it. It's like, oh my God, does my breath smell like disgusting shit? Are my eyes too crossed? Are my teeth crooked?
Yeah.
That's gonna be the first thing that's gonna come into your mind. So maybe have like a little, notebook where you just have a couple of positive things about you,
Yeah.
get that, confidence up, and then just go for it. At the end of the day, the worst thing that's gonna happen is they're gonna say no, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna leave that bar, you're gonna leave that restaurant, you're gonna leave that club, and you're never gonna see them again.
100%. Beautiful. I love that. I love that, man. Well, listen, I definitely need to see more of your podcast. Like what I've seen, or sorry, what I've heard, really enjoyed. And like, I mean, I think it speaks for itself. Like you've not been doing it that long. You've already got advertisement, sponsorship. I think it's awesome, man. I can only see more growth, more just, yeah, better things and really good things happening for you, man. So I really appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, I'd love to do this again someday.
Absolutely. Can't wait to do it again. This has been a lot of fun.
Good.
And then hopefully next time I'll just be a little bit more prepared and then just have more advice for your
No, man,
straight
I think it was good.
coach.
No, I think it was good. It was really cool, like having a look into your life, and thank you for being so honest. And obviously, I think people will see why they should go and listen to your podcast. And obviously, I'll put the links below. And if you want to just tell us again what it is.
It's Let's Go to Work, and
Yeah.
it drops every Monday morning.
And where can people find it?
You can find it on any platform that plays podcasts. So whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I was about to say Apple Music, or Google Podcasts. So I doubt anyone listens to podcasts through there. But yeah, you can always just check out my Instagram page. You can always find the link through there too. That's JC_0, like the number, and then MF.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Listen, thank you very much, George. And we'll do this again.
Thank you.